I don't know, we're live.
The Australian Security Academy acknowledges the traditional owners of country throughout Australia and recognises the continuing connection to lands, waters, and communities. We pay our respects to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander cultures and to elders past and present. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples should be aware that this series of live streams contains images or names of people who have passed away.
Good afternoon, investigators. Mike Evans and Casey Evans with episode 323 of Spy Curious, the Australian weekly corporate government and private investigator news service for investigators all around Australia. I'd like to welcome Casey along today. She's very busy investigating. I don't know how Casey finds the time to do this. There's some great news this week out there for private investigators, apart from that one, which I'll come to in a minute, but really good. If you're into missing people and you like looking for missing people, have a look at this on the ABC News website, the story about finding Robert Bugaki, the man who disappeared on purpose back in 1998. He revisits the area where he went missing, meets the police and the Aboriginal trackers who at the time were searching for him. He didn't even know they were searching for him. He went without food for 4 weeks and for several days without water, and they found him alive. So really interesting missing persons case. If you're into that sort of thing and you're into your OSINT, have a look at that as something that's in the news this week. Quite a few things have been happening this week. We're looking for 15 factual licensed investigators in New South Wales for my established national client. Hi, Amber. How are you going? Great to see you. So 15 licensed factual investigators are required, so send me your resume. If you haven't completed your course, they'll still want to talk to you. They've got an onboarding program coming up. So they're looking for Australian Security Academy students. They've employed 60 Australian Security Academy students in the last 18 months, and they want 15 more. So that's really something to look forward to. If you're after a job, Barrington's down in Canberra looking for vetters for compliance and a case management officer down there. So great opportunity with Barrington's. What do they like to work for? I used to work for Barrington's and they were great to work for. So really top company, Barrington's, and they have one of the vetting supply agencies to the Australian government based in Canberra. In Queensland this week, it came out in the news that the threat to kill a dog was enough to acquit a Gympie police officer of driving disqualified. This came out in the news, whoops, not that one, where the Magistrate Hughes accepted the evidence and said the threat to kill the dog could not be dismissed as a mere property concern and was a recognised form of coercive control under the domestic violence laws. This was not only a direct threat to the dog because of the defendant's relationship to her dog, it was also a threat to her own mental and emotional well-being. The judgment noted that Miss Savage had given unrefuted evidence of previous abuse, including physical violence, emotional manipulation and threats. Magistrate Hughes found that Miss Savage had limited refuge options because nearby homes were linked to her partner, and previous slow police responses left her worried about her relying on emergency services. She must act quickly and do the best she can, the magistrate said. A person is not to be condemned simply on the basis that in the agony of the moment she made a wrong choice to drive while disqualified. So that was an amazing call, and it's great to see a just call where coercive control, domestic violence could have led to an escalated situation. She got out of it, thank God, right? And the magistrate made an intelligent call on it. So that's not something you see every day. So quite pleased to see that, that call made in Queensland. Just before I depart for a minute, I'm looking for a factual investigator in Melbourne. If you want to go up to the next level of factual investigations in Victoria, get in contact with me with your resume. This is a national client, probably top-tier loss adjusting firm. Now, one of the big ways to step up in your investigation career is to work for loss adjusting firms as their investigator. It adds credibility to your investigation work and gives you another avenue of income. So that's really something to be aware of and look forward to. Here's Casey.
Hello, everybody, and good to see everybody in the chat saying hi. Make sure you say hi. You know, I like the interaction, so I know that I'm not alone here. I'm not just talking to a camera. First up, I wanted to mention the tour that's going on. My tickets for Melbourne have now sold out. There's only, I think, 2 left for Sydney. So please get in quick if you would like to get tickets. And there's quite a few left for Brisbane. So Brisbane's not urgent. There's probably about 5 left for Brisbane and 2 left for Sydney. There is a wait list for Melbourne. So if you want to put your name on the wait list, that's totally fine. You can do that. Who else do we say? Hi, Nanad. Good to see you. Thank you for saying hi. Thanks, Courtney. Gold. So yes, tickets are going fast, which I'm really grateful for. I'm really happy to see that. Lots of people are disappointed that they missed out on Melbourne, so we will look at doing more in Melbourne as well. But obviously there's a couple of tickets left in Sydney if you can jump over. The other thing I wanted to talk about was I've heard a couple of rumours about different investigators just refusing to use AI. I sent out in the newsletter this week for the Australian Security Academy an article on how to use AI responsibly as an investigator, and I also put this on my LinkedIn just before coming on live here. So it's really important. AI is not going away. I feel like it's a lot of people are saying don't use it. I'm not using it. It's not something that's ethical that should be used, and it's kind of the similar thing to social media when social media first came out and people were like, no, I'm not using it. Like it's not a thing. It's not going to be big. AI is the same kind of thing. It's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. It is intertwined in so much now that you just can't ignore it. And if you are not agile enough and if you're not adapting it to your practices, then you will fall behind. You need to ideally get in at the ground level, as they say, to start learning and just paying attention to how it can help you. So there is my post on LinkedIn that you can have a look at how investigators can use it. So data analysis at scale. OSINT, obviously, it's great for that. Surveillance and pattern recognition, document drafting and reporting. So clarifying your thoughts for some document summaries is fantastic. It's really helpful there. I've used it quite a bit recently when it comes to sentiment analysis. Often when it comes to really large court cases, I'm hired to gather as much online information about a person of interest as possible. And usually this includes social media posts, news articles and things like that. And it's my job to do a sentiment analysis. And AI has really helped with that as well. So it's really fantastic there. So go and check out the post. Adopt your policies and procedures as to how it can be used. And remember, it is a tool. It's not something that's going to take over or replace you. It's a tool. So it's not something that's going to just jot out the email for you and respond as you. You need to look at it and adjust it, essentially. But it can help really clarify what you're saying, and it's something that we should be looking at and adapting. And a lot of us use AI already without even realizing, because AI is built into a lot of things. And as I said in my LinkedIn post at the bottom, when I was writing my LinkedIn post, it says, what does it say? It's like, use AI to write this post or something like that. So it's everywhere. It's not going away.
Really great advice, Case. And look, it's just part of it, like the telephone was once. Okay, yes. It's just no different. Everybody's going, oh, you know, people will never be able to communicate properly again because of the telephone or colour TV or whatever. It's a tool. Use it. Take advantage of it. Make sure you've got that human touch on it. That's really important. In Queensland this week, they came out with rewards for cold cases. So the government really promoting those rewards. Have you ever thought about bounty hunting as a career and collecting rewards? Well, we've had a video on it in the past. Now, the rock and music to this one only goes for 30 seconds because they keep cutting me off on YouTube, all right? And the last bit is a really important part where they tell you that of the rewards paid in New South Wales, what the average reward the person has got, which is quite freaky, okay? Why people are reluctant to claim rewards, and do people actually get them? So let's have a look. So the New South Wales website has a lot of rewards. This is an older one that you're watching currently because we made this a long time ago. But according to statistics available in New South Wales Crime Stoppers, 384 rewards are paid out since 1989, totalling $139,500. That means $363 per reward. And you're seeing rewards there for $1 million, for $500,000, for $250,000 for information leading to a prosecution where the person must be found guilty. So this is why very few rewards are paid, because it doesn't lead to them being found guilty. So not guilty means no reward. So they can offer $1 million reward and the person could just end up with $339. Now, $500,000 was paid for information leading to the arrest and conviction of notorious backpacker murderer Ivan Milat. So someone got $500,000 for that. On the day this video was made about 6 years ago, there was $5 million worth of rewards in New South Wales. So it's quite interesting. It can be done. It's an investigation.
Yeah.
But before you go investigating and claiming a reward for someone who's committed murder and finding out that information and passing it on to the police, you might want to consider, if the press get hold of it and name you as the person that did it, who you're dealing with. So be very cautious with those things. Casey, I'm almost out of things to do. How's it going with the OSINT program?
I still have my OSINT tip to do, so that's perfect. So my recent tip of the week is something that I have used for all of my Queensland cases because it's just so easy. So often when you're asked to do missing persons cases, I find a lot there's a parent that's either sick or has passed away, and either siblings or the parent has requested you to find a child or a sibling. And a lot of these cases of these missing relatives are the person fell off the edge of the earth essentially because of mental health issues. And this person has generally ended up homeless or possibly in prison and different things like that. And a really good place to start in your investigation is actually checking the prisons to see if the person is there. Each state is vastly different in regards to the information that you can get. Queensland is amazing because we have the Queensland Corrective Services website where you can literally go, type in a first name and last name. You don't even have to put in a date of birth, but if you're looking for John Smith, it's probably really handy to have a date of birth. And you can search it there and it will bring up exactly what prison they are in. So it is incredibly easy. Now, I have a list of every other state when it comes to who I contact. It's in my workflow for missing persons, which is a really good thing to have in your missing persons workflow. It's a lot harder with every other state. With New South Wales, you fill out an inquiry form, which I found them to be responsive. Victoria is virtually no information on their website. I don't like the information that they kind of give you is that they're not going to tell you without permission from the prisoner. And I believe that the ACT is the same. ACT only has one prison, so it's there's not too much information there. Who else do we have here? We have the South Australian government essentially tell you to write to the prisoner and to give up that information. They have essentially a letterbox that you can send the letter to and it will go to the prisoner. And if they respond to you saying where they are, then you have the information. So I don't know why Queensland is so forward in just giving up that information. It's amazing for investigators because if you were looking for someone and they happen to be in a prison, Queensland will just give you that information. Otherwise, you're going to spend a very long time on the phone to, say, Victoria, asking them for that information, and all of the other states. So if you caught Investigations Uni just before, Pat was talking about, it's worth asking when it comes to the police. So definitely picking up the phone and calling the appropriate prison. There is some states don't have direct information saying you cannot find out. Just pick up the phone and give them a call. A lot of them have very limited information, either because they just don't want to say that overtly that you can find out where a prisoner is, or because you just can't. But it's worth giving them a call to have a look. So yes, in missing persons cases, especially when it comes to these mental health issues, you can often find them in a prison that maybe they're just doing a short stint for petty theft or something like that because they've done it a few times, or there's a lot of different reasons, but it's definitely worth adding to your workflow list when you were doing missing persons.
Yeah, they turn up in hospices and they aged care facilities. A lot of rock stars go missing, and it's the nurses who recognise them from the concert they went and saw that rock star at 40 years ago that actually locates that person. So it's quite incredible what can be done, but Casey's being way more proactive with that, and no surprise that Victoria's behind the game there. I was surprised that Queensland was so far ahead. A few years back, we reported here on this program about the TikTok scam going around about ripping off the tax department for BAS fraud, and this week it's ended up in court. And basically, it was ATO workers that were involved in it. several ATO workers, and many of them have left the ATO since, but they were encouraging people to take part in that scam, which is, as taxpayers, we're not happy about it. We don't like it at all. And as investigators, we like it even less. But we did report on it here a couple of years back. Justice takes time, for that wheel to turn. And every one of the people that were caught and convicted had a sob story to tell about how deprived they were and all this absolute crap, right? They didn't mind ripping off the taxpayer and the public purse. One of the great tips you get in this program, that if you ever have to go and do a workers' compensation investigation through Comcare for the ATO, the tax office, they will say, no, we can't speak to you and none of our staff can give you a statement because of confidentiality and privacy. And what we advise all our investigators to do is go and read the Tax Act and look at the section of the Tax Act that talks about the protection of the public purse. So when they refuse to talk to you, you simply go, look, under Section 76 of the Tax Act, protection of the public purse, I'm doing this, this and this. And then they've got to go, you're one of us, brother. Come on, sister, come on in. We'll tell you anything you want. Because they have to. Because workers' compensation might be a genuine claim. It might be a fraudulent claim. But protection of the public purse is why these people were prosecuted. And that little tip comes from Australian Security Academy instructor. And he's in this series talking about TAC investigations. So, I advise everybody, if you've got a difficult government department who are stonewalling you about getting a statement or interviewing witnesses in relation to workers' compensation, public liability, generally any other matter, fraud, whatever, read the Act. And in the Act where it tells you they've got to cooperate for whatever reason, protection of the public purse, that's your key to getting through the door. So that came out in the court today. You got to love the tax system. How's the OSINT tour going, Case? Tell us all about it.
Yeah, I've already mentioned. Mike's put me on. I've already talked about it, Mike.
So we know how many people are in Melbourne. We know how many people are in Sydney, and have we got a vacancy in Brisbane?
Correct. So sold out Melbourne, a couple of tickets left Sydney, handful of tickets left in Brisbane. So
okay. That's fantastic. All right.
Really looking forward to it.
Okay. All right. So people, look, thanks very much for watching. Get over onto our Australian Security Academy Facebook page. If you're looking for work as a licensed private investigator, this is where you go. I don't put all the jobs up, but we put as many as we possibly can. You're going to notice that the jobs are going to... She's all over it, yeah. I was making a cup of tea.
He doesn't listen to me.
It's been a hard day. Our Facebook page has job vacancies on it. You'll notice that they've been really tidied up. And if you have difficulty on this Facebook page looking for a job and you can't find a link to it or something like that, copy a few parts of a paragraph and put it in a search engine and that job will come up. All right, so that'll save you a lot of worry about sending me emails or ringing me up at 3 o'clock on Sunday morning. Covered everything. Oh, that's right, I got one more job. I need a loss adjuster in Sydney, please. So my national client, top 2 loss adjusting firms in Australia. This is right up there with it. This is a boutique loss adjusting firm, run by a lady, owned by a lady for over 35 years in Sydney. They've just moved office. They're looking for another loss adjuster to add to their loss adjusting team of 25 loss adjusters. This is an opportunity of a lifetime. You don't have to be a loss adjuster. You can be an experienced private investigator. Send me your resume. I'll put you in touch with them. That same firm is looking for an investigator down in Melbourne to do their loss adjusting assignments. They're going to grow you through it, put you through it, onboard you, and they give excellent support. You'll be replacing a person who's retired, right? So that's the only reason. Okay, they made enough money, they're leaving. All right, so great opportunity to enter the top tier level of investigations and be assisted into it. Don't miss out on that one. Send me your resume.
It's a great opportunity.
No tea time here. All right, you have a cup of coffee, Courtney. That's all right. No basketball tonight, Casey?
No holidays, thankfully, so I have a night off.
How's your finger going?
Long way.
So when you're back in the game?
At least another month before it will heal completely. So, yeah.
Wow. Oh, boy. Okay.
Things.
All right. Don't tap so hard on those keys on the keyboard.
No.
People, thank you very much for watching this week. If you didn't see it, Investigations Uni today, Pat and I talked about interviewing police officers and the protocols and the systems. It's ever evolving. Anything like that, it's constantly evolving. So always check your case management system. You'll have instructions in that, particularly and really only if you do motor vehicle accident and compulsory third-party liability investigations. They'll have specific instructions on the protocols of interviewing police officers and how to go about it. That'll be in your case management system. The only reason it won't be in your case management system is that if your firm has just recently run a tender for that sort of thing and they just haven't tidied all that up yet. But mostly it will be in your case management system, and that's where you do it. So to learn all about what you do in relation to interviewing police officers, jump over onto Investigations Uni, episode 147, and you'll see Pat and I talking way through it, how to get information. You do not give them a warning and tell them that, anything they do say could be used in evidence. You do not finalise it by any threat, inducement or offer to take part in this interview being held out to you, any complaints of none of that. It's a whole different world when you're interviewing police officers, and you can learn how to do that in episode 147 of Investigations Uni. And people, that's it. I've finished for today. You've covered everything, Case?
Yep, all done.
Thanks for watching, people. We'll see you next week in episode 324.
작전 종료. 전원 복귀할 것.